There's a lot of fear, a lot of scarcity mentality out there, a lot of negativity. You've got to remove yourself from the environments where they're not solution oriented. Everybody, it's Greg Carlson here, and just wanted to, ask you the question: are you tired of hearing about the NAR settlement? Every agent seems to be talking about it. Buyers agents, loan originators, Inman News, you name it. Just about every Facebook page is just obsessed with the NAR settlement dialogue, and I think it's one of those things that obviously we need to pay attention to. So I'm not going to sit there and say, just ignore it. It's not important. No, it's very important. But what I'm really tired of is I'm just tired of all the negativity around it. And so I just thought I would share with you some thoughts that we have around the NAR settlement about really in terms of what we're doing about it within our company, what I'm coaching real estate agents on. And just instead of getting involved in the negativity and the what ifs, let's just talk about, what are we going to do? What do we need to be focusing on right this minute? And the first thing is, I'm coaching my agents on, the discussions, the dialogues that we have to have with sellers. We need to be able to talk to sellers about, the benefits of offering compensation. And we got to stay away from conversations that might make somebody feel that we're steering, buyers to someone that has offering compensation, and we're steering them away from somebody that's not offering compensation. That would be illegal. We cannot do that. But, there are conversations that you can have around the benefits. And, what you got to understand, a seller that does not offer compensation is really kind of adding costs to the buyer. So if the buyer only has $50,000 to put down on a piece of property, that's all they qualify for because that's all the cash that they have. And then all of a sudden they have to take 10 or 15,000 of that and use it to pay a buyer's agent. Then now they only have $35,000 to put down, which means they would no longer qualify for a $500,000 home, assuming they had to put $10,000 down. So you may have to listen to that a few times to kind of work out the math, but you can see that there could be times where a seller doesn't offer compensation, and that makes the property unaffordable to a buyer. And so a buyer that cannot afford to buy the home, just like any other home that they cannot afford to buy, they probably don't look at it. So those are the conversations that we're having, talking to sellers about the potential pitfalls of offering zero compensation. And maybe there will be maybe there's an argument why they can offer zero compensation. But these are the things that we're discussing. Also discussing with the buyers, agents, when there is zero compensation being offered, how do you approach that? How do you approach that? So one of the things, the pitfall for sellers is there could be less people that could qualify to buy their home in the event that the buyer really had to pay that expense out of pocket. They just may not have enough down payment. The next thing that conversation that we're discussing and we're working on within our offices is how to talk to a buyer who's confused as to, why do I have to pay it? I didn't have to pay it the last time. And the reality is that we're not talking about more compensation. We're really talking about the compensation that already existed. It was already on the HUD statement on the seller's side. Now there's a negotiation taking place as to, does it stay on the seller side? Does it transfer all the way to the buyer side? Or does it get split in the middle or some variation? So the conversations with the buyers when they're confused is we just got to let them know, it's like, we're not talking about more compensation. We're not talking about higher compensation. We're not even talking about a new closing cost. We're actually talking about things that already existed, but the negotiation is who's going to pay for it. Kind of like a repair. You get a home inspection and there's $10,000 of repair that's needed. The buyer immediately says, oh, $10,000 worth of expenses. Well, I want the seller to pay it. And the seller says, well, I want the buyer to pay it. And then all of a sudden they negotiate it. Or they don't, and the deal doesn't go through. So we're just talking to our buyers and learning the conversations necessary to have those logical conversations with our buyers to make sure that we can continue to do good business, that we can serve the buyer, serve the seller, represent the person that we're representing. At the same token, we can continue earning an income that we deserve as professional real estate agents. And then the third thing that we're working on, or I'm really working on with agents, is the conversations about the NAR settlement that we're having in our head. there's a lot of fear, a lot of scarcity mentality out there, a lot of negativity. I just suggest that you've got to remove yourself from the environments where they're not solution oriented. You've got to put yourself in an environment that is solution oriented, that's looking for solutions, having the conversations that help the consumer as well as help you continue to build your business. So be careful at the negativity, the negative conversations that are around, say the water cooler at your office. Step away from those. Don't blame them. Don't make anybody wrong, but spend more time thinking about solutions, thinking about, well, I know what conversations aren't going to work. So let's start thinking about what conversations will work. Many agents are worried, are they even going to have a job? I believe they are. I actually believe that agents are going to be able to come out of this on the other side better off. I think the consumer is going to be served at a better level, and I think the real estate agent is going to be viewed as a professional and start earning what they should be earning. So if you're a company, at a company that's not talking about this, I would say, gosh, they need to start talking about it. If you are looking for some additional answers, want some help, please reach out to me. I would love to talk with you. I have real estate companies all throughout the Carolinas, through North Carolina, South Carolina. So it's very likely you're in a market that I'm already in myself and love to team up with you. And if you're not interested in making any kind of move, then maybe we can just have a conversation. I can point you in the right direction on some of these conversations, give you some tidbits in hopes that that'll just help our industry and in our local markets even further. I'm Greg Harrelson. I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye-bye.